Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, by now you're probably tired of playing against mages in every single game. And in this particular match, I showcase how to handle mages quite easily. I believe they're gonna have another patch coming up soon where they rework and buff protection items. And this build will work perfectly with that patch because most of the items on here are going to be buffed. So if you think they're strong after watching this video, know that after the buff they will be even stronger. And that was a solo against 3 people at the end. At the start of the match, you're gonna go Warrior's Axe into Yogi. Just gonna walk in, do that, take your buff, take his dignity as well. Yep, landed that block. With Sobek, sometimes I struggle with landing the block. Not sometimes, I struggle with landing the block a lot. I'm just being honest. But he's very fun to play because he does so much damage, even as a tank. And if you build him correctly, got him. Look at me landing the block twice in a row after saying I struggle to land it. But I promise, I don't always land the Sobek block. I miss it quite a bit. And I still managed to win. So there's that. Alright, so you're gonna have mana issues until you gain Yogis, until you build Yogis. Your starter is up to you, but I like Warrior's Axe just so you do a little bit of damage. That's just my thing, but it's your choice. Regardless what you go for in starter, get Yogis. And someone did our blue. Okay, I don't see any of my teammates with blue buff, so I'm guessing the enemy did our blue. Then I look at the map and I see the enemy's blue was done by my team, but no one picked it up. Okay, well, for all backing, I'm gonna get the tier 2 for Yogis, so I have a little bit more mana. The journey to getting Yogis online is just the most boring part of this build. After that, everything picks up. Because after Yogis, you're going right into cooldown. So with tanks have crowd control. Crowd control is stuns, roots, slows. Typically, you want hard crowd control, which is a stun, a root, silence. With a knockup is also a hard crowd control. Sobek has a block. I will miss it. It's that too, a block, and his 2 is a knockback. So he has 2 hard crowd control abilities in his kit. That alone is very annoying to the enemy team. The problem is the cooldown of his abilities are kind of long. Missed that again. No, I missed that one. So the key to doing well on Sobek is actually cooldown. Because you will miss some abilities, like I have, but at the start of the match I barely missed. And having those abilities off cooldown as soon as possible will allow you to keep the enemy essentially frightened and unable to push forward. It's gonna ult, I'm gonna ult his ult. Now I'm slowing him down because my ult has a slow. And then damage once it's fully loaded, throw him back in. I have no mana left, displace him, and walk away. It's also important to remember that as a tank, especially in the early game, you can die. Quite easily actually. If it's a 3 against 1, you will die. The only person who could 1v3 at the start of the match was Sturder when he was released in Smite 1. But after a while they nerfed him. And he couldn't do that in the early game anymore. I'm gonna leave the blue buff for the mage because I'm not gonna be that guy who takes the mage's blue. I also actually have a blue character.
Be right back.
And then right into Genji's. They're gonna buff Genji's. Right now it gives 50 magical protections. It's gonna give 60 soon. Sadly, they're not buffing Glad Shield. But Glad Shield still does damage based on your protections, so in a situation where protections have been buffed, Glad Shield can shine again. because you actually have high protections on your items now. So Glad Shield will do 10 plus 40% of your protections as damage. It's important to remember that. That means you want to build items that have high protections, not high health. You want things with high protection numbers. Anything that says 50 or 60 protection goes really well with Glad Shield. 50 and above, essentially. Glad Shield sadly only gives 25 protection, which I think is criminal. Landed that. Landed that. Go right into the ult. The goal is just to get the enemy's health low so my team can follow up and then get kills. If my team can follow up, I use my ult so I can ult his ult. That's fine. I have Yogis, and I'm just sustaining through it. Plus, Warrior's Axe also heals you for a flat amount. And Neat came in. Can she clean up the other one? And she is Steph Curry with the shots. Land down on the minions, it'll still spread to him. Yeah, Sobek is perfect in the sense that he has anti-heal, he has hard power control, and he just teleported in the middle of my team and the minions. Not sure if he thought that through. Once again, as a tank, you want cooldowns. If you notice, the only things that prevented me from killing him is the fact that my 3 was not up. If I had cooldown, and I could use my 3, I would have killed Choctaw. If I had my ultimate, I also could kill Choctaw. So with tanks, you want to build cooldown as much as possible. However, you want to get items that actually help you in the game as well, not just building every cooldown item, because then you're just going to be somewhat easy to kill. Because, believe it or not, the really good items in this game, they don't have cooldown. It's another thing I've noticed. I'm gonna back up simply because I need a... Oh, is he going to ult? Am I gonna let him ult? That's the real question. Because I could just say not today. Do that, knock them back. Also, Sobek does really well with Stun of Binding. Ult his ult. Slow him so my team can attack. And now focus Aphrodite, anti-heal her. Did not land that. I whiffed that by a mile. That's totally fine. Game goes on. Okay, taking a lot of damage, time to back up. I think we should just clear this way real quick. But yeah, Warrior's Axe really helps with your sustain in the sense that it heals you. And combined with Yogis and Health Chalice, you can pretty much stay healthy. Plus, most tanks have a healing ability. Most. Not all, most. Okay. We have Genjis. I could go for Mystic Mail. Now, Mystic Mail is going to be buffed as well. It currently only gives 25 physical protections. However, once they buff it, it'll give as much as 40 physical protections. And she's going the other way. That's fine. I'm not going to chase her halfway across the map. Neith is chasing her. That's funny. Neith is actually chasing her. Yeah. This Chalk is just not going to have a good game. Neith killed it. Okay. W Neith. Look at that. So Mystic, I could go Glad Shield before Mystic Mail actually. That way I have the extra 10 cooldown. Because the same components build into both Glad Shield and Mystic Mail. Mystic Mail gives 300 health, Glad Shield only gives 200, but it gives 10 cooldown. Like, Glad Shield needs a buff in something. If you're not going to give it more protection, at least give it more cooldown. I don't know what they're doing with that item. But, if you want to do damage as a tank, you kind of need to have Glad Shield, in my opinion. Glad Shield or Mystic Mail, preferably both. Okay, that was embarrassing. I plucked the minion. Walk it off. Nobody saw. I mean, if you're watching this video, you totally saw that. Look at the damage still, and I have only Warrior's Axe. You just use your ults. Sundering, my relic. Got him. Now, Sundering Arc does true damage, and it takes 3 times. It's a bleed. How am I supposed to follow you over there? Okay. So as a tank, you should be the first one into the fight, peeling for your team and preventing the enemy from doing damage to them. When your teammate does something like that and jumps over a wall to start a fight and you're not there, it kind of makes you look bad even though they're the one who totally just jumped in. And you may not have a jump. Like Bacchus has a jump and he can follow for sure. But other tanks would have to walk around and then they're gonna go, "Where's my tank?" I'm like, you jumped into a fight while your tank was in middle lane, but somehow the tank is at fault because they jumped into a fight. So yeah, you're gonna see that happen quite a bit in Smite 2. They got the kill. My team is dominating. And no one took this. Might as well. So now I have 25 cooldown between Genji's and Glad Shield. Believe it or not, that's enough to win. That's Glad Shield helps with damage. Interesting. So Nua's minion got the kill. Okay. And Nua just backed. I guess I'm doing this. Now, having your cooldowns as often as possible is important. But Sobek, his passive does give him extra cooldown, which is why the 25 cooldown is enough. In other tanks, you might want to go Breastplate of Valor, which is also getting buffed soon. But Breastplate of Valor does not do damage, which is why, once again, Glad Shield is better. Even though the protections are abysmal. I landed the pluck, but she stunned me. I didn't know I could get stunned out of my pluck. That's neat. It's only me fighting all 3 of them. Note how long I last in this fight. Okay. I still have my ult, I haven't used it. But notice how this interaction has gone so far. Got the kill. Nua stole the kill. I wanted to kill that man. You know what? At this point, we'll see if I get any kills. I have gotten 2 kills. We'll see if I get any more kills. So you are somewhat tanky at this point. Yogis has a passive that heals you for 0.5% of your max health, which is why building Glad Shield into Mystic Mill helps you because the items have health on them as a stat. Essentially, the more health you have, the more regen you gain from Yogis. Plus, you're gonna have to go for health showers no matter what. Yogis is just better than going multi-pots. If you have issues sustaining in lane, Yogis is just the way to go. Now I have Mystic Mail. The other item I wanted to show you, this is getting buffed. So you could use the item for attack speed. It also boosts your teammates' attack speed. Or you could go for Ornn Hunter's Garb, which is better than this one actually. Shogun's Kasari gives you increased attack speed and creates an aura around you that provides attack speed for your teammates. Now, Neith on my team benefits from this item, and I also benefit from the attack speed as I'm just railing on them, and if there's any point in time I could block my war attacks. You're so good. Really? There we go. I have to Sunder though, just to support. Okay. Now this build works, but if you find yourself against like, I don't want to say against teammates because you're supposed to be playing with your team, I'm blocked in. I can't retreat, I don't have my dash. I finally died. If you find yourself with teammates who are not responsive, you should go on the Hunter's Garb instead. This one. Because it gives you mitigations for each enemy around you. 3% mitigation for each enemy around you. So a total of 12% mitigation. And that works perfectly for Joust. So because your team is not responsive, you want to be able to stay alive as long as possible. And as you saw in that previous encounter where I was up against all three of them, just you can stay alive for a while until they get percent penetration. While they only have flat penetration, they can't really kill you once you have Genji's guard. Not unless you're actually being dumb, but yeah. If you have Genji's guard and you have Warrior's Axe gives you 10 magical defense at the start. With Genji's, that's 60. Once they buff Genji's, you're gonna have as much as 70 magical defense. So flat pen is not gonna kill you early on in the game. It's percent pen that you gotta worry about. But I think people are just gonna realize that and just not even bother building flat pen at all. They just go straight for percent pen. Like, it's only a matter of time before someone actually uses their brain. Okay, she used her ults. Gotcha. And he ulted me, but I have mitigations. My 3 Sunder's up. Sundered. That's a double, baby. Solo kills double on a tank. And my only damage item technically is... I mean, Mystic Milk counts as a damage item, but Warrior's Axe is the only thing with intelligence on it. The rest is just protections and Glad Shield. Now, seeing as Chalk is not really doing any damage to me, the mages are the biggest issue, but depending on what you're fighting against, I think Dwarven Plate is a better bet, or you could just go for Upgraded Shell, because it gives you 20 physical and 20 magical defense, and of course, that will help with your Glad Shield. But Dwarven Plate is also getting a shift, I don't want to call it a buff. So Dwarven Plate might be the better option for you, but if they have crit, I promise you, you would do better if you go for Spectral, if they have crit. Okay, he just dodged my 3. If they have crit, no matter what, go Spectral last item. Your whole team will thank you. Will thank you for going Spectral. You know what? Yeah, this guy does no damage to me. It's not important in this one. Okay. He does no damage to me. Gonna ult them, yeah, that's cool. So long as his team does not follow up, his ult is wasted. Because his ult will not do any damage. Okay, Merlin went in. Bad choice. Yeah, he does nothing to him. Meanwhile, I'm doing so much damage to him with what? Warrior's Axe and Mystic Mail? And Glad Shield, I guess. Okay, that's her ult. Follow the line. Wait for her Aegis. 3. Yeah, that was just simple, I guess. This is the build. Remember, all these items are going to get buffed soon, so just because they're good here, expect them to be better after the buff, because they're going to buff every item in this build except Glad Shield. Yeah. Subscribe to Rizul on YouTube. Top kills on a tank, Sobek. I mitigated more damage than Chalk. I did more damage than Nuwa. With a full tank build. Like and subscribe for more content. I mostly play tanks, mages, and warriors. I don't like hunters, and I dislike assassins. Except Aspect Loki. That one has a special place in my heart. See you tomorrow, and have fun.